What's up, everybody? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. And say no more, I already know what you guys want to see in this video, and that is an update on the big hitters for the Nintendo Switch that we haven't heard about in years or really seen any footage of outside of either CG trailers, teaser trailers, or essentially nothing at all. So let's go ahead and start off with Bayonetta 3. Bayonetta 3 is a game that many of you guys are very excited about, and I know that I'm extremely excited to get into this one ever since they announced that it was coming to the Nintendo Switch back in the fall or the winter. I think it was the Game Awards. Yes, the Game Awards of 2017. They revealed it along with Bayonetta 1 and 2, which are exquisite games. You guys should definitely go check those games out if you haven't already done so. If you like Devil May Cry, old school God of War, these games are right up your alley. Bayonetta, to me, is the best rendition of the stylish action genre. So Bayonetta 3, they talked about this game a number of times, whether it was Kamiya or Inaba from Platinum Games. Now, we did hear that the game was still in development. Everything was going good as of last year. They actually talked about it being on track, and they even gave it a little bit more, saying, hey, games don't take like a year or so to make, they take a while, so give us some more time. So that was essentially about a year and a half after it was first released, because I do think that pre-production probably barely got started around the end of 2017, maybe early 2018. Now, Kamiya also added that development is going well, and even with going back to last year, Nintendo in the direct about Astral Chain, or talk about Astral Chain, they did discuss that, hey, development is still on track there, even after Astral Chain came out, because people were probably wondering, wait a minute, you announced Astral Chain after Bayonetta 3, and Astral Chain is coming out first. So they did give an update on it multiple times. So that's 3 separate updates from people with obviously knowledge on the matter, whether it's Nintendo, the publisher of Bayonetta 3, or also the developers with Platinum Games. So I do feel this, guys. I think that Bayonetta 3 is primed for an announcement this year. We will see the first gameplay trailer and also the release date for Bayonetta 3. I think that's going to happen this year. Now, look, guys, we have the whole COVID situation, so it could be something that gets delayed past this year, but I'm pretty confident that they are targeting and they're doing everything that they can to get Bayonetta 3 ready for 2020. I would guess, kind of going back to how they did with Bayonetta 2, it be a fall release, October, September, somewhere in that time range or in that frame. But yeah, Bayonetta 3 to me is locked and loaded, man. They've been working on this game, and they've also talked about it a little bit more. They essentially said that they wanted to do something completely, I would say, like revolutionary for the genre, right? So this is not some type of normal or typical sequel. I don't think it's going to be a simple Bayonetta 1 to Bayonetta 2, despite Bayonetta 2 being absolutely phenomenal and upgrading upon Bayonetta 1 in every way. I think they're really trying to do a couple things differently in this one and add in some more gameplay mechanics that the Bayonetta franchise has never seen before. So I think that's why, 1, it's taken a little bit more, and 2, they want to make sure that it's ready to go and they have a solid release date and everything is set before they announce something. So I do think that we're going to see the first gameplay trailer, we're going to see an overview trailer, and we're going to see a release, just as long as COVID doesn't delay it anymore. So those are my thoughts on Bayonetta 3. That's also the latest. Of course, you guys can get everything in terms of when they said certain things from last year, dating all the way back and all that. Links will be in the description below. But you know, another thing that we need to talk about here, guys, that I know you guys are very, very excited about, and that is Metroid Prime 4. And Metroid Prime 4 has had literally nothing. This is actually worse than Bayonetta 3, right? Because Bayonetta 3, at least we got a little bit of a teaser trailer. Yes, it was CG, but there was still something there. Metroid Prime 4 got a title screen in 2017. Like literally a title screen that made everybody go crazy. And then whoops, oh man. 2 years later, we got that information that, you know what, this game has been scrapped. It wasn't up to their quality standards, that they are restarting development with Retro Studios, the original developers of Metroid Prime 1, 2, and also Metroid Prime 3. And many people were like, whoa, wait a minute, why didn't you just use them from the beginning? Well, here's my theory, okay, before we kind of get into where Metroid Prime 4 is. Here's my theory on that. I think Metroid Prime 4 was going to be an action RPG or an action third-person type of game with first-person elements kind of mixed into there. Maybe you kind of go back and forth, almost like a Metroid Other M situation. Not when it comes to story and all that, guys, or gameplay with the Wii Remote and doing all that stuff, but just how that game was first person at times when you shot certain things, then third person. Not saying they would have done the same thing, but they were trying to do some type of innovative, probably hybrid mechanics type of game, and it just didn't work out. And also, Nintendo might have been paranoid about how Metroid Other M turned out with fans and everything. Despite the game, in my opinion, being a solid game, not everybody thought the same thing. So I think Nintendo just said, you know what? Let's just go ahead and cut our losses right here, and let's get Retro Studios back on the development of this game. Now, Retro Studios has been hiring a lot of big hitters in the industry. Guys who have worked on Star Wars, people who have worked on Battlefield, people that have worked on all these different types of AAA production style games across the industry. So you know that they're continuing to add firepower to get through development of this game. And I do feel that we're probably not going to see anything on Metroid Prime 4 until next year. But what about Metroid Prime Trilogy? That's another game that people have been talking about, and I do feel that Metroid Prime Trilogy has a shot. I don't think it's gonna happen, but it has a shot of being announced maybe this year. It has a shot based off of what we've heard before with more remasters and re-releases coming out. I think Metroid Prime Trilogy HD has a shot of being announced this year. Don't know if it's going to be released this year, but it has a shot in my opinion. But something tells me that they're probably going to release that game more in line with the same year that they have Metroid Prime 4 ready to go, at least with the first footage. So we're probably going to see Metroid Prime 4, I would probably say for the first time next year. So 2021, maybe a release in that year, maybe not, maybe it goes to 2022. We do know that Nintendo said that they're about halfway through the life of the Nintendo Switch, so there still are a number of years left to go for this system. So it could be a 2022 game, but I would expect it to be a 2021 reveal for Metroid Prime 4. The first time that we see the footage or that we see a trailer or anything, even if it's a CG trailer. But I'm not so sure about the game releasing, but it is possible that it maybe comes out at the very end of 2021, but we're gonna have to wait and see on that one. Now, to the final game here, guys, and this one is going to be interesting because we're talking about Shin Megami Tensei V. Shin Megami Tensei V is a game that so many people are waiting for, right? Obviously, it's on this big MIA list for the Nintendo Switch. Where is this game? And this game kind of gets more flack than the other games that I talked about here because it's Atlas. Well, one, it's Atlas, and two, because it was announced before any of these other games were announced, right? So it was announced back in January of 2017 at the Nintendo Switch reveal or Nintendo Switch actual like press conference or whatever the heck you want to call that thing, presentation that they had to go over the price and everything like that. And every single game that was revealed at that show has pretty much been released on the Switch. Every single game except for Shin Megami Tensei V. So that's another reason why that this game kind of gets extra flack, just because we really haven't seen much from it. Atlas has a history of taking a while to develop things, but you know what? This is standard practice for Atlas, guys. Let me give you a perfect example of what happened before with this same exact developer, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, or back when it was first called Shin Megami Tensei Crossfire Emblem. That game was revealed pretty much at the launch of the Wii U. I think it was that January. They announced it or something like that in a direct or something. I know it was earlier, 2013. And then the game didn't end up coming out till 2016. So it was a full 3 years. They completely rebooted things. Now, I'm not trying to sit here and say that that's what's going to happen with Shin Megami Tensei V, because I don't think that's the case. But this is just Atlas kind of being Atlas. They do announce things way too early, whether it's at the request of Nintendo or whether they just want to announce things. We saw this with Persona 5. They did the same thing with that game as well. So it's just something that Atlas is very used to doing. But if you look at it, the update that we got was that there was another trailer, I think in 2018, saying Shin Megami Tensei V is coming to the West, or it was 2017, one of those two. I think it was 2018, though, early 2018. And then on top of that, they said that full-scale production started in early 2018. So if you look at it, it's really not too bad, right? Full-scale production of the game has been going on for a little bit over 2 years at this point now, based on when they told us in early 2018. So 2 years for a game, when it comes to full-scale production, they still got work to do. Sometimes it takes 3 to 4 years to make this style of game. So we might not see Shin Megami Tensei V this year at all when it comes to a release, right? When it comes to a release. However, I do feel that we could see a reveal of the game, actual gameplay, because we still haven't gotten real gameplay from the game at all. We know it's using Unreal Engine 4. We've known that for multiple years now, but we haven't gotten any gameplay yet. So I do think that we could get the first gameplay trailer maybe around the summertime or so, or even fall, whenever Nintendo can cut together a direct or an event of some type. And then we could see a release in maybe early 2021 or mid 2021 for this game. So that would be about 3 years or so of full-scale production and everything. Even though it was announced back in 2017, they announced it too early, obviously, at this point. So those are my big 3 MIA games for the Nintendo Switch. Now, is there anything else that I missed? I know some of you guys might say No More Heroes 3, but that's not an MIA game in my opinion. We've had 2 pretty big trailers and they've already stated that it's on track for this year and everything. So that's not really an MIA game. And what do you guys think about these 3 games here? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the links in the description. We've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a follow on there. Stay up to date on all latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.